Hello, everyone. And gold darn it, if No Shots Fired hasn't gone and done it, finally, we've made it to episode 20. And in honor of the fact that there are 20 episodes now, we've illuminated the fact that certain coins combined will equal 20 cents. 4 nickels, 2 dimes, 2 nickels, a dime, a quarter with a nickel-sized hole cut out of it.
Fun fact, not a lot of people know that one.
That's the trickiest one. And it only took us a little over 3 years to get to 20 episodes.
Also, fun fact, 20 pennies does not equal 20 cents. The terms of service, Thomas! Oh, no.
Tommy will be joining us maybe later.
The material on a penny is worth more than what a penny itself is actually worth.
That's why my plot is to melt down all the pennies of the world.
Okay.
Not only making them increase in value because there will be less of them, but then using the metal to build evil robots. Yeah, you didn't think I was going there with the metal. You thought I was just going to resell it.
I did. That's exactly what I thought.
On episode 20, in honor of everything we've accomplished over the last 3 years we've been doing this, we have some really specially curated topics for you, topics into which we put a ton of thought.
Things we've been asked about for 3 years and said, no, we're not ready yet.
Yeah, exactly. Since episode 1, we've compiled a list, and we've delayed until, boom, 20th episode. So the biggest one is games that I wish existed. People are like, Valan, if you could play any game, imaginary or real, and specifically imaginary, what would you play? And I'm like, no, not yet. I won't talk about this yet, but now I will be.
Yeah. Trying to get that out of you for free, right? Ridiculous.
But I guess in honor of the 20th episode, I can talk about it a little. Then we're going to go into Darkest Dungeon, update on how that campaign is doing. The Randomizer Continued.
Yeah.
We intentionally left that one as a cliffhanger or didn't talk about it at all. I can't remember last episode. Yep. Okay. Then a Dungeons and Dragons update, but not the one you'd expect.
Yeah.
An update on a different campaign because we don't have an update on
that other
the other campaign is
right.
Yeah, so we can't really. It's still over. Okay, that is the update for the other Dungeons and Dragons campaign. And then finally, we're going to talk about how Japanese box art is cooler than American box art sometimes, a topic probably better suited for the days in which box art mattered more, but I don't know that it does because of Steam now. So, we'll end with your questions, as always. How many episodes has it been since we've had a question, by the way?
Let's not get into that aspect of it.
However, let's jump right in. Let's not worry about the questions until they come flying in.
Exactly.
Gosh, guys, games that I wish existed, a topic that I have spent countless hours whiteboarding out on the giant whiteboards I carry with me. Well, so first of all, I'd like to ask you guys, do you ever dream of games and you're like, gosh darn it, I wish that game existed? Am I the only one who does that? Oh, no.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do sometimes occasionally literally dream about games that don't exist.
Oh, okay. That's how I came up with my RPG bowling idea, which I still think would be a great idea.
I think we need to do that.
I really, if there was a game I would make right now, it would be a really in-depth RPG bowling game. Trying to make it to the pros. Most of the game is, like we've talked about, like a 2D style, kind of like Super Nintendo Zelda game where you walk around, but then when you go bowling, it cuts to the another fun, I guess, mini game. What would you call that game within a game? The bowling aspect of it?
I would call it. Oh man,
isn't there a name for that?
Well, I was trying to come up with a bowling pun.
Ooh, okay. Well, we're all waiting.
Turkey, bumpers,
Pin, strike,
splits,
spare,
perfect games, 300 points, 10 frames,
Gutter ball.
15-pound bowling balls.
Use a 15-pounder? I feel like that's a weird weight.
Is it?
I feel like they're 8, 10, 12, 14. I thought they were like in 2 pounds.
I'm sure there's
Unless you're going weird.
Pound
There
bowling
probably
ball.
is. Probably
Typical bowling ball weight.
Well, imagine that in the RPG. That'd be a lot of fun.
16 pounds. So I was right.
Imagine that in the game. You got to decide what kind of ball to use. Certain balls would imbue you with special powers. You'd have shoes also.
Okay.
I mean, like, it's just
Real quick, I will
Yes.
give $300 to either of you if you can name 2 bowling ball manufacturers.
Pinsanity and
I was going to do one, but then I was afraid that one was really obvious, but maybe I should have gone one.
Strikea.
Okay. Those are
like
Valan's
IKEA,
guesses. Junkblade, do you have any guesses?
No.
Oh, guys.
It's been so long since I've been bowling that I literally can't even think.
I mean, I don't have to tell you
like,
guys about Storm Products,
one.
Pyramid Bowling, Radical Bowling, Hammer Bowling,
I mean, I could just guess
ABS
random
International,
words.
DV8 Bowling. Oh, the Brunswick
These are
was
really
the one I
boring.
thought you would get.
Oh, I guess I have seen that on bowling balls before.
Yeah. I should have said one. That would have been funnier. I totally ruined the bit.
You did. You got worried about paying us.
I did. I was like, I don't have that kind of scratch liquid right now. So I bailed really hard on it.
So I guess you could say I wish that existed. I don't, in one sense, and that sense is it's my game, and I don't want it stolen from me.
Well, I think the last time we talked about this, I brought up a Golf Story, which is like a very simplified kind of NES, SNES style golf game with RPG mechanics that also has like pixel art. And I think bowling would be a perfect kind of sister game to that title. I think we should do it.
What
We can't call it. What would we call it though? Bowling Tale? Is that too close? 10 pins, the wiser.
That's too much. I think I like bowl. I think simple. That's why probably like part of like Golf
Tales
Story
of
works.
Pins.
Tales of 10 penny nickel. Oh no.
10 penny nickel dime quarter.
Yep. What's a famous bowler?
It's not a Tales of Johnny Bowles a lot.
Fred Flintstone?
The Dude.
The Dude. The Jesus?
I don't know if we want to name.
No, that might not be great.
Yeah, I think we'd get sued by the Coen brothers.
Did you guys ever watch that Alley Cats Disney movie about bowling? Pretty good.
No, but
No.
we could call it Alley Cats. That's
Pretty
a good.
sure it had Kaylee Cuoco in it. So
Well, hasn't she just risen to unassailable heights because of that?
there you go. Right?
Alley
You
Cats.
say that like I know who that is, David.
Big Bang
She was
Theory.
in 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter with
Nope.
John Ritter. A very funny show. And then, I don't know, I don't think she's done anything since. So
She's not the Big Bang Theory girl?
she is. That was my joke.
Oh, okay.
And I
Well,
nailed it.
Dunked on.
3-point dunk.
Man, you guessed the one game I wish existed. It's called 3-Point Dunk, and it's a basketball game where you can dunk from beyond the 3-point line. However, it doesn't give you 3 points. It takes away points from the
man.
other team.
Oh,
So
okay.
the game never ends because you have to get to 100 points. Also, an additional rule.
Interesting. Okay. Are there any
I wanna
other?
give
So we often talk about like RPGs and stuff.
Yes.
Is there like a specific topic you would like to see, like, or like world an RPG inhabit
Okay.
sort of thing? Like it doesn't have to be like a new one that hasn't been done or one but like one you would like to see it go back to type thing.
I loved the Final Fantasy VII world is great. Like the mix of the old and the new, I'm always a big fan of.
Yeah.
So like I like how a lot of the guys are kind of like futuristic and have guns and stuff, but some of them still carry around swords. People are still like, nobody is questioning the use of the sword kind of thing.
Well, I mean, they're so big, like.
Right. I mean,
so big swords.
That's why they're so effective.
I think I would like that, but I almost don't want them to make it look like new. Because every time I see like a really high res CG cutscene and stuff, I'm like, no.
No, I don't like that. No, it's
too much.
Octopath Traveler. I think that is my ideal RPG look, feel. The most I really want is kind of like a slightly pixelated, maybe dude that pops up when you're having a conversation. You know what I mean? Like the portrait.
Now that you brought that up, I do have games I wish existed, which is the 3 Super Nintendo Final Fantasy games remade in the Octopath Traveler graphic style. No other changes. Just that.
That would be amazing.
I think so.
Gosh, guys, should I get a second Coca-Cola? They're really pandering here. Look at this.
What?
Have a Coke.
I say, who
with
are we
a Grill
sharing it
Master.
with? Oh, the Grill Master.
Hmm.
Okay, can you top that?
Well,
if you can have another Coke if you can top Grill Master.
Doesn't everything top Grill Master?
Does it though? I don't hear a suggestion.
I think you should have 2 Cokes because I had 2 beefy Frito burritos from Taco Bell.
Boy,
God,
guys,
we're really
the health cast this evening.
Okay, let me actually get into at least one game that I actually really.
I think those. I think the ones we've brought up so far would be solid games. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, maybe we should wait another 3 years and I can talk about the ones and we'll see if they exist by then.
I like that suggestion.
That is an option.
Yeah, I think we'll do that. I like those 2. Those are really solid suggestions. And we've spent enough time on this topic, so I think it's. I mean, we could keep going. I'm sure because a lot of it is just games that are close. Really, it'd be kind of modifications to games that are already.
Yeah, like Halo 2 or 3 multiplayer and Destiny.
Yep.
Would be.
I have just like a 2-minute digression on the point of games you wish existed.
All right.
This one might even exist. Like I said, I sometimes have dreams about games. The one dream I had was about a top-down, like, old Zelda-style horror mystery solver game.
Oh, interesting.
So you're dealing with, like, a supernatural mystery, but it was top-down Zelda-style graphics in, like, this weird school area.
Okay.
That could be. I think that could be. I like the combination. Because to my knowledge, there's not a lot of... So you're combining like the solving a mystery with kind of, I would presume, a horror survival.
So what kind of game
genre.
mechanics are you talking about? Like Zelda game mechanics too, or just kind of that look?
Yeah. Just kind of that look. I don't know if the Zelda game mechanics would work quite as well in a, mystery solver game, but it might.
It might not be though, if there was parts of like solving puzzles in a Zelda-like way, but then it also like took you in to like do more detective-y style.
Yeah.
things.
Right, like as you approach certain objects or areas, it kind of changes your perspective maybe, or there's a lot of things you can do with it. I think that would be, well, like, again, I think the art style would be really cool. There's already have been some, I don't really like, I've looked into them, but some people have explored kind of the top-down horror survival where you're kind of walking around and get a limited field of vision. So I think that can be done really effectively, and I like the idea of making it more of a Zelda graphical style. Mm-hmm.
And I
think that could be really cool.
Those can still be made, atmospheric and kind of, scary and stuff. Like there's a game, Oxenfree, that I recommend you guys try. It wasn't necessarily a Zelda style, but it was like a 2D. It was kind of like point and click, but let's say you point, like you clicked and they walked to where you clicked and that sort of thing, and so you explored the environment that way. But it was very much like a cartoon art style, but was very effective at kind of creeping me out a few times, which I was surprised that it was that effective in doing that.
I forget that I shouldn't yawn so obnoxiously because we're live, but that's life
buddy.
for you. Oh, hey, we've got Electrical Skateboard and Commander Root back, the two automated bots who turned in last week. So
excellent.
Huzzah
I miss whatever that other bot's name was.
Yeah, their bot. I
Slow
do too.
Cool?
Yeah, Slow Cool. I assume that these guys eventually get the axe from Twitch.
You might be right. Okay, I thought of a game I wish existed.
Okay.
Okay, now
Tell us.
This is pretty out of left field here, but
Okay.
I think like a 2D kind of 2D art style, and kind of there's like a gentleman who doesn't look like he'd be very athletic. You know, got a little pudge. You know, kind of a bushy mustache. This is just off the top of my.
No, I'm sure you've thought about this a lot.
Off the top of my head. And he runs.
Are you okay? Are you all right? Oh, wait. I know what you.
He runs
Never
from left to right. He doesn't have a gun or anything. Because that's not in these days. I think that's on the outs. So he kind of just jumps on enemies, and they don't.
Sure.
They don't make a big show of their demise. They're just kind of like, maybe a score.
So
a score pops up.
So there's not a big backstory to the enemies.
No, I don't think so. I think maybe later on we can kind of invent one just to mess with people. But
what's his backstory? Would you say?
Okay, well, his backstory. I mean, I didn't have necessarily all of this prepared, but I believe he, after being born, he and his brother.
Oh, he's got a brother.
Yeah,
okay.
brother. More a fan of green for the brother is what I'm thinking. They get kidnapped by this kind of turtle guy.
Sure, it's all making perfect sense to me.
The baby, they get separated onto this island where these kind of dinosaur-looking things. So, have a council of the elders and decide to try to reunite the two babies.
Sure.
And they succeed, eventually. And then I can't remember which Mario game comes after that.
Well,
I thought I could get further through just describing Mario, but I failed.
You could have had me a little longer if you hadn't started laughing so ridiculously. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, Darkest Dungeon is a game I believe Junkblade has been playing more and more recently. So,
not as much as I should have been, but I have been playing it a bit, and there's a new DLC out for it that I think I'm probably going to purchase since I purchased the rest of the DLC. I don't actually know what's in this new DLC.
Complete that collection.
Yeah.
Is it mostly new story quest type things, or new character classes, or is it kind of a mix, or what is the DLC?
It's new story quests. It's called The Color of Madness. Let me just pull up the store page real quick, and I'll.
Can I ask?
Oh, there's also a new class DLC, the Musketeer. Oh, it's free. Only available to upper tier Kickstarter backers, though.
Gotta get in that upper tier.
Right. The Color of Madness DLC unleashes the farmstead, which has become the site of a fallen comet. Let's see. Some hateful shot of alien origin is streaked through the night sky, crashing into the old miller's farm on the outskirts of the hamlet. Those unfortunate enough to witness the comet's arrival have been blinded by what they can only describe as a shifting, ephemeral hue of damnably abrasive intensity. There has been no word from the in a fortnight, save from the unearthly groaning that echoes from the ruin of the mill.
Wait, 1 second. So
you lost
issue with
damnably abrasive intensity? Is that
where you got me?
abrasive intensity.
Where you got me was the qualifier to that was what people can only describe as. It can only be described as.
Only one simple descriptor for this.
And
I think everyone knows what we're talking about. Oh, that's good. This is Valan. You've played a fair amount of this, right?
I have.
Okay.
I have. I have not played any of the DLC. Junkblade is the expert for sure.
Okay.
But I very much like the idea behind this game.
Yeah,
and
it's a cool looking game for sure.
You get to expand your hamlet with 4 new buildings.
Oh, nice.
New curios, 3 new bosses, an all-new enemy faction, some new trinkets, and endless quest. Survive as long as you can while getting lost in time and space, confronted by unending waves of enemies new and old, pushing ever closer to the crash site of the comet.
Unending.
It sounds pretty promising for a $5 DLC.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I would maybe not go towards the comet if it's an unending journey. That
does kind of set you up for failure.
Evan, that's being logical, and the protagonists of Lovecraftian stories are never logical.
That's an excellent point.
Because if they were, there would be no story.
Guys, let's go investigate this giant squid thing I've seen in my dreams. Who's in?
It'll probably be fine.
Guys, let's go to the haunted mansion and go fight off horrors from beyond the stars.
I do like when there's a really simple, like, everybody's showing up in Darkest Dungeon. For anybody who hasn't played, you have like your home base, and every time you return to your home base, you'll have a bevy of I guess mercenaries who have just shown up to help out. But the fee for them helping out, like, perpetually on this journey into darkness, madness, and death is always so inconsequential compared to, like, going through one room in one of these. Like, who are these people who are like, this also happens in, like, Pillars of Eternity 2, the RPG I was playing, where you can hire any number of faceless, unnamed explorers and just make them. So that's how I made all of you guys in that game. But to hire them, it costs, like, especially early in the game, it's like 100 coin, and as a comparison, like, a glass of ale costs like 15 coin. So
you're hiring them for the price of 6 beers.
Yeah, like a 6-pack. Like, hey, here's a 6-pack of beer. Do you want to follow us forever, wherever I choose to go on this journey?
I mean, what kind of beer are we talking about? Right? I mean, that's the key.
In Darkest Dungeon, you can hire them for free. Like, they don't cost anything to hire. They just join you willingly.
I've got nothing better to do, sure.
Hey, I was kind of bored.
Anywhere. Like, you can send them to the Darkest Dungeon immediately, even though it's 6 tiers above where they're supposed to be fighting things, and they will not question you.
Hey, I heard
they won't be happy about it. They'll be stressed to hell really easily, but they will go into the Darkest Dungeon and fight to the death, which will be very quickly because you sent them into a place so high level above what they're at.
Yeah.
I just I like that's not a big pet peeve of mine, but I think it's always a little funny when, or like the workers on my ship who are, again, pretty much just bound in eternal servitude for, like, I'm paying them like a coin a day. So it's like a coin per day in wages.
Working up to that beer.
Working up, yeah. After 9 days of hard labor on the ship. We're in there. And only one small portion of the ship is devoted to a bunch of just bunk beds. Like, they're just trapped on this ship, getting 1/9 of a beer a day.
Oh man. Okay, well I'll be interested to hear if you do end up getting that DLC. If there's anything significantly interesting about it. Once you get a chance to play it.
Absolutely.
I would like a Tommy Tom hold update. How long have you been on hold? 49 minutes with United Airlines? 49 minutes with United Airlines.
That's a while, Tommy Tom.
Well, he's doing all this travel for us, coming back from E3 and now going off to...
Yeah.
Is there any other place he should be going off that...
Well, I mean, it's never too early to get in line for Gamescom.
Then he's going to Gamescom.
Somewhere in Europe, I think. This is why we need that lead time, because I don't know where it is. So.
And that's why we're sending him somewhere in Europe right now.
Germany? Might be Germany. Germany seems like a safe bet.
You're going to Gamescom, which is somewhere in Europe.
Probably Germany.
Because we here at...
Going to be going to Gen Con this August again.
Oh, nice.
Is that the one in Indy?
Yes.
It is.
Oh, I need to try to go to that. Oh. Is that way?
We should have
that's in August?
It's in August.
Yeah.
That's not a great month for me.
No.
That's not a great month for most people, it seems, because I invited the cousins, but apparently that's the weekend of their Sturgis trip.
What, Sturgis?
It's a motorcycle rally down in Sturgis, which I should remember what state that's in, but...
No, you shouldn't. It's fine.
I was hoping it was they were using that as slang for sturgeon, and it was a sturgeon fishing trip.
I don't really even like fishing, but I'd be more prone to go on that than the bike rally. Who wants to go to South? There's got to be a better bike rally.
Like dirt bikes or what?
I don't know.
No, motorcycles.
I'm less interested now. Of the 3 bike types we've listed.
But getting us back on topic with the video game podcast. Now we're finally going to talk about that randomizer update, which I guess is continued.
Yes, it has. I finally got somebody else to play with me.
Nice.
And that actually turned out to be quite fun, because I actually made it as far as I've ever made it in a randomizer seed before having to stop.
Oh.
I think I got... So the main way of kind of telling how far you got is how many crystals you get, because that's... You get all 7 crystals, then you can unlock Ganon's Tower.
Sure. Then you can go.
And I think I got 4 of them.
Nice.
Before what happens? You just give up before you give up?
I mean, I this was 2 weeks ago, and at a certain point, I don't remember what I've checked and what I haven't, so I just kind of I just restart.
You're compelled to give up.
Yeah, if I don't beat it in basically 1 or 2 sittings, I'm like, oh, okay, redo. Which really shows up in that I'm a lot better at the beginning of this than when I get like an hour in. I'm like, oh no. I haven't really gone this far before. But no, I will continue to bug people about playing that with me. It's a lot of fun. It's a really cool way of playing a video game a good number of people know pretty well. But it's just the different way you have to think about it is it's a lot of fun. So.
For all the bots watching at home, just describe real fast. What game and what randomizer is. So
this is Legend of Zelda: The Link to the Past, and a randomizer essentially takes every item in the game and randomizes its location. There is an algorithm that makes it so you can't get a seed that's unbeatable, which is good because that would be a bummer. But beyond that, stuff can be, in any chest in the game really. So it's all about kind of following what items you have, where that allows you to go, what that unlocks you to do. Dungeons out of order. Certain dungeons you can skip entirely if you want to, and it's just it's a fantastic thing to watch. Like there's really cool race tournaments on all the time, which is where I consume most of it. But then I've started trying to play it, and it's been a blast to kind of try to go through some of those things. So.
Are you tournament ready yet?
Oh God, no. I did one boss fight the cool way, like once, The next time I tried it, it took me like 15 minutes, as opposed to like 25 seconds, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
I think it would be. Yeah, should not try to do this the cool way. I should just have beat him.
Yeah. But the fact that you can pretty much everyone does it on emulator, because this is it's obviously something that's altering the ROM of a game means it's very accessible. Pretty much anyone that would be watching this can pretty much do it on any PC. So it's a cool thing that I continue to recommend. But
so when you say play it together, does that mean like I would have a beer and watch you play it?
No, I know. So I made a seed. I sent him a copy of. We started going through the same seed. We kind of were talking about what we were doing and that sort of thing. So kind of playing through it simultaneously.
That's cool. That's cool because then you can explore different areas. You can
you can see like which one of your hunches pays off and that kind of thing. I think that's probably the ideal way to kind of try, because then you also kind of helping each other through it kind of helps that process go, because it can get frustrating at times, but if someone else is dying 17 times at a boss also, then it's not as bad.
Yeah.
All right. I would definitely. Okay, then some night we're gonna do that for
Excellent.
sure, and soon, and then we can actually talk about it during the next podcast.
Exactly.
I have never played the game before, so I will not be good, but I may as well.
That is not an expectation, Junkblade. None of us are good, but I do.
That's fair.
If you are at all interested, watching a few races, like they're on YouTube, they're also on Twitch. They're on quite a bit. Like Speed Gaming, I think is the channel. But watching a race or two really does give you an idea for like the starting kind of progression and that sort of stuff, because they've got commentators on it and stuff, which are usually pretty good about kind of explaining the thought process and stuff. So it's a well done, well produced thing.
All right. Keep that
Which
in mind.
brings us to the Dungeons and Dragons update. Woo!
Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, so don't know if there's going to be any further updates on the Wednesday campaign. I might be dropping it just because I'm not really that interested in doing a new campaign on Wednesday, especially because I'm going to have a Saturday campaign anyway.
That's fair.
This game will be updated again this coming Saturday because it's going to be a every other Saturday thing. The starting campaign is called the Shattered Gates of Slaughterguard.
Sure.
The basic premise is like 100 years ago or so, this really awful demon tried to get a layer of the abyss transposed onto the material plane and assault it from there, because to make it easier to do.
Classic demon move.
As one does.
His plan got figured out and foiled, and now 100 years later, some people are trying to make it happen again.
Now, here's a question. Do the people trying to make it happen again know that it's called Slaughter? Was it Slaughterguard?
Slaughterguard, but guard is spelled Garde.
Oh, that's even worse. And so they knew that, and they still said, you know what, I bet this is a winner.
Yes.
Let's go to Slaughterguard.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just checking.
I like to imagine when they figured this out, they being the people who stopped the demon the initial time, I like to imagine them figuring it out, going something like me walking into a bar, you and Doc are sitting there. I'm like, hey, guys, I think there's a demon trying to transpose an abyssal portal onto the material plane. They're like, nah, that's so, nah, not here, not in Slaughterguard.
Not in Slaughterguard. We named it this specifically to prevent this from happening.
You're always talking about demons trying to transpose portals onto the material plane. Valan. God.
Did this campaign come with an epic, like, hard metal theme song? So I feel like Slaughter Guard's got to be like a 1985.
Not to my knowledge, and this was actually sometime in the 2000s, because this is a 3rd edition campaign, and 3rd edition didn't come out until the 2000s.
Okay.
Maybe 1985 was when that demon first tried to go through.
I think so.
Yeah, that must be it. Anyway, my party... just gonna go over my party real quick, and then the update's kind of done with, because all I had them do was some random side quests, because some of the players couldn't make it that session.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start with the normal and go to the weird. So
like that.
We've got a half-elf gunslinger.
Okay.
Most normal character in the party. After him is a dwarven samurai.
Now, okay.
Now,
does he get a full sword, or is this like a knife, like a kind of
Yes.
a prop gag sort of thing, where he's like, "Behold my samurai blade," and it's like a butter knife type thing, or?
He's got a full sword.
Oh, how does he
wield that?
Or stone?
Ineffectively?
Dwarves are pretty hardy, so...
I know, I think we're more talking about like the fluidity of movement, though, right? I guess I shouldn't.
Anyway.
I shouldn't judge.
An air spirit druid who is very fond of racial purity, because he keeps insulting party members for being half-breeds.
Topical.
Not out of character. It's an in-character thing.
Sure.
Now wait, when you say air spirit druid, is he an air spirit, and what does that mean?
The race is called a sylph, and let me find the.
Again, I'm all of the bots in chat. We have 3 of them now, I think, but they need to know.
No, I believe land fusion is real.
Well, in that case, shout out to Land Fusion being here for our 20th episode. Good man. Better.
Land Fusion does at least have a channel.
And it's not one of these like weird channels where it's like counting things.
I have no idea.
You didn't investigate farther than that? All right. Well, welcome, Land Fusion. Welcome.
A sylph is born from the descendants of humans and beings of elemental air, such as Jinn. So, a Jinn and a human apparently...
Sure. Fell in love.
That makes their philosophy very inconsistent, though, because
I feel like
they
that needs
would
to be
consider
made
themselves a half-breed, too.
Yeah, that needs to be made a specific point.
I think a lot of the characters should...
kind of bring that up.
Yeah.
Alright, so next is a gnoll necromancer named Tiffany. And gnolls, for those who don't know, are hyena people.
Right. I know the gnolls. Know the gnolls. Gnolls the gnolls.
And last one so far is half red dragon fighter who is chaotic good.
I didn't know you could
which
be a
is
dragon.
not typical for half-red dragons.
I thought they usually outlawed the dragon.
I've heard of like tieflings, but I want to be.
I'm pretty lenient as a dungeon master for most character concepts, unless they're just so far out there that they're going to cause issues no matter what you do.
Okay.
Now, I take issue with your normal to weird. I would say hyena necromancer, very normal. A lot of consistency.
I think so. Hyenas, they're instruments.
He's already interested. He's already a scavenger.
Yeah.
I assume most gnolls are kind of scavenger creatures, so...
Fair.
He doesn't have to be, like, good at necromancy.
Weird for a typical D&D
Yeah, you're right. No, I'm completely joking around.
All right, let me try to get a feel for your line on the acceptable characters. If I wanted to be a 1/24th scale model of a 1987 Chevy Nova Paladin, that forsook the Brotherhood of the Sword to become a passenger vehicle, would that be allowed?
Now, when you say
no, because cars don't exist in Dungeons and Dragons.
Pretend it's a buggy, then. With a buggy 1987 Chevy Nova.
I think you'd be like a 1487 Chevy Nova.
Okay.
And technically, I believe that could work within the rules, but I think that would be a little too out there.
I am in. Valan, what's your character idea?
Well, like the one I actually play, or my testing the bounds.
Well, I gave what I actually played, obviously. So,
what if I were I want to be like a griffin, but I'm also Medusa. So half of those things.
Which half is which?
Well, a griffin's already like a lion with wings, right?
A lion mixed with an eagle. Front half is eagle, back half is lion.
Okay, so I'm half eagle, half lion. No, quarter eagle, quarter lion, half Medusa.
Okay, so you need like that middle half to be the griffin part, because that's where the transition is.
So like, you're basically a centaur, but your bottom half is eagle and lion, and your top half is Medusa.
Well, I'd like head to be hawk. I want my feet to be snakes.
But then you're not going to have the stone eye ability without that Medusa head, right?
Well, my feet look at people, and then they get turned to stone.
Well, Medusa has, like, snakes for hair, but it's her eyes that do it, right? It's not the snakes.
Well, then can I have Medusa eyes? Hawk head, Medusa eyes, snake legs,
now we're going. Now we're going.
I think what I've learned is that I am never DMing for the two of you.
The term snake legs gave me a jump.
Well, tell me this. So your actual race in the game, how much does that affect your character's abilities?
It can affect them a lot, but the thing is that often, like for the half dragon, for example, they get a really big strength boost, but as the game goes on, that's going to matter less and less. So they'll be really good at the start, but things are going to start evening out as people get to higher levels.
Okay. That's a more active. I thought. Are most of the other ones more passive abilities, like can see?
Yeah, most of the other ones don't have quite as many boosts as the half dragon, but
okay.
It's not like I told this player, "Hey, you're the only one who can be a half dragon."
Yeah.
If the other players said they wanted to be half dragons as well, I would have allowed it.
Gotcha.
Does a gnoll get penalties to things like? I thought gnolls weren't extremely adept sorcerers generally because of their.
It depends on the version you're playing. In the version we're playing, they've got a bonus to strength and constitution, but they don't have any penalties to anything.
Okay.
So they don't have any bonuses that help them be better sorcerers or wizards or whatever, but they also don't have anything that penalizes them for that.
Okay.
Could I just be a dragon?
That
or is
generally
that pushing the bounds of?
It's doable, but you have to use homebrew rules instead of official rules, because the way the official rules are written wouldn't allow you to play a dragon.
Just because they're too OP?
They don't scale like players do. They scale by age. So, I mean, the way to gain power as a dragon is to sit around on a pile of gold for 1,000 years.
What if
so
my character really, really believes that he's a dragon?
Oh, I like this.
And tries to use dragon abilities constantly.
I like this.
There are classes that enable that.
Okay. I can't decide how successful I want him to be.
I mean, I would say not.
I think so. I think that's where the fun lies. But but my character would always be convinced that next time it's going to happen.
What if my character is already dead and the others use him as a Weekend at Bernie's kind of prop in their hilarious hijinks-filled quest?
Roll to Twitch.
I feel like that would be better for an entirely different system, but there are games where you could do something like that.
A key aspect of this: are sunglasses possible in the Dungeons and Dragons world?
Yes.
Okay, we're in.
Actually,
we are in. This is doable.
I forget their name, but they are an item that exists.
Excellent.
I think they're more like sun goggles, though.
Okay.
Well, that works as long as you can't see the eyes.
Exactly.
Because then the comedic effect of the dead body is not lost.
Yeah, the sight gag is really important to the whole structure of what we're trying to do here.
Japanese box art is cooler than American box art sometimes.
Finally,
go, Doc.
The
go.
crux of the episode. All right. So I just think this is true in general. I want everyone at home to Google, because I don't have the box on me, the Final Fantasy III box art for Super Nintendo. And describe that bad boy.
Can I describe it with really boring?
All right. That's
mostly black and purple.
There's a sword, what looks like the outline of a demon, and a Moogle. And that's literally it.
Okay. Would you like to see the Japanese version of this game? Box
Absolutely.
Art. Okay. I guess you could Google it, but I'm also holding it up.
All right, I'm going to look at the camera then, because that's easier than Googling. Now, it confuses me why they just wouldn't copy that exact box art.
Right?
It's not like it was an intellectual property issue.
Exactly. I struggle to understand.
Because at some point somebody made the decision, no, because the box art for that, because it came out in Japan first, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So it would have been already done, and somebody's like, wait.
So somebody decided to spend more money on a new box art.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was this.
The most egregious offenders of this, I believe, are the Mega Man games. Especially like 1 and 2. You're just gonna have to Google those. I'm not made of money. I don't have the boxes for Mega Man. But also, like, so I it's not necessarily that every time that it's like a bad thing. Like, I don't really have a problem with the Ocarina of Time box art. It's because it's kind of the gold with the shield, and like that's a clean look, right? But the Japanese version has Link, astride his horse, with like freaking flames going around. So, just different strokes, and I am fascinated as to why some of these changes seem to go about, like, especially the Final Fantasy ones, like
the Mega Man 1 and 2. The Mega Man 1 and 2 American box arts are so bad in comparison to the Japanese one.
Like, why not just put the character on there? What are we trying to do?
Yeah.
Why does he have a gun?
He look like Mega Man.
So I actually backed a Kickstarter documentary that's going to go into some of these box arts and like talk to the people, because I think the story of that one is they gave a guy maybe a 2-sentence description of what Mega Man was, did not show him any screenshots or any gameplay, and just said, "Here, just do something." So I don't want to blame the artist necessarily here, but man,
No, bad art direction happens all the time. I can't think of any specific examples off the top of my head, but I know that has happened in Magic the Gathering in the early days a lot, where the person had this in mind, they gave the artist this prompt, the artist got something completely different from the prompt.
Yeah.
And they were just stuck with that art because...
You paid for it. Man.
Yeah, and bad communication.
Yeah. I think the Super Metroid, I think, is another example where I think the Japanese box art does a much better job of... Now, in the interest of fairness, I would say that Chrono Trigger is maybe an example where the American box art is a little better than the Japanese. I don't think the Japanese box art's bad, per se, but there's more action going on in the U.S. box art version. But this does show kind of a cast of characters, which is good.
What's a pop-up shop?
A small shop that is easily taken down and popped up, I think.
I just heard that term a bunch recently, and I just thought
I think that's something that's like, oh, we're on the move or something. It's like, oh, I'm selling bespoke jeans. Come to my pop-up shop behind the train yard. Only pay me in antique Coke bottles.
Could we have a pop-up shop?
I do like both versions of the Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, they're both good, but I do think, so that's why the sometimes is in there. I'm covering my bases. What would we sell at this pop-up shop?
Box art.
Box art? Or boxers?
And boxers.
Oh.
Boxers and box art.
Box art, those do fit together pretty well.
Pretty well, right?
Yeah. I would be interested in that.
Well, and when I'm saying boxers, I mean like ceramic boxers.
Ooh.
Both the dogs and the fighters.
Yeah, we got to be diverse in that aspect of it.
See, I thought you meant the underwear. No ceramic underwear?
Only on certain pops. We can't pop every time with the ceramic underwear.
Makes sense.
Special.
Well, we got to make... we want people tweeting about, oh my god, what's our shop called? Box arters? Box?
Boxers, boxes, and box art.
That's really good, actually.
That is good.
Like, oh my god, the B Cubed shop, it's on 5th and May, and everyone get there before the ceramic boxers are gone.
Oh, one last example. Actually, just the overall design between the Super Nintendo and the Super Famicom, I think we got kind of robbed on that one. The Super Famicom looks way cooler. The controller's cooler with the colored buttons. And the box of the Super Famicom is one of the coolest console boxes, I think, ever to come out. I don't know about the unreleased ones. There could be a cooler one there.
So what do I Google to see this and verify if it's
Super
true?
Famicom. I mean, you know what a Super Nintendo looks like.
I do feel like the Super Nintendo is more boxy, and I like that the Super Famicom actually colored the buttons differently, like the way they are nowadays.
Yeah. And the box is fantastic. So.
Too many boxes.
Did you Google Super Famicom box? Because that's all you need to do.
It's pulling up. All right. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. All right, I agree. we can lay this issue to rest.
I've won. I've done it.
Well, I didn't realize it was.
That was part of my plan.
Guys, I don't want to alert anybody, or alert's the wrong word. Excite anybody, but we have 4 bots watching us now.
This is significant. Electrical longboard and electrical skateboard? Oh,
right, electrical skateboard's friend was so excited. Well, he was so excited he told his longboard friend.
Guys, we are so close to just exploding.
Yeah, I think at any second now, just millions of people. Questions from the bots in chat. What do you guys got? This is episode 20. It took us just a little over 3 years to get here, which, gosh, if I would go back 3 years ago,
I'm
maybe we should have. Let's have a reflections period real fast here.
Okay.
And I had told past self, it's only going to take you a little over 3 years to get to 20 episodes. I would be like, no way.
That would also have been my reaction. I can't decide which way the no way is going, though.
Technically, I haven't reached 20 episodes because I've only been involved for like 5.
You were here in spirit.
You have always been here. Whether or not physically,
or actively participating is beside the point.
Is this turning into a hotel overlook kind of thing? Have I always been here and just didn't know it?
I think that's how this ends, is it zooms in on a picture in the background and we've been in the picture the whole time or something.
I think that's exactly how this needs to end.
That'll be episode question mark.
Yep. So what games are we going to try to play
4, but
next time?
I will definitely be playing Dark Souls Remastered tonight. I haven't been playing because my friend has not been in the mood for a while, but she will be again tonight, it sounds like.
Cool.
What about you, Doc? What are you going to play?
Jumpy, did you have one more?
That I mentioned before the video, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, which is just a card game I used to play in video game form, and way less broken.
Gotcha. I will be playing Mario Tennis Aces. It's coming out on Friday. I'm excited to play some fun tennis, which means not realistic tennis. I'm probably going to play mostly as Chain Chomp, because that's just too funny not to do. And then probably try to do some more Randomizer. Valan, what are you thinking?
I would like to try to play Randomizer with you.
Excellent.
Guys, also, wow, perfect timing. Tommy Tom finally off hold.
We did it. I knew we could do it.
How does Chain Chomp even wield a racket?
Oh, he holds it in his mouth.
Does he really?
He does. It's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the only thing.
I can get behind that.
There you go.
Now, I was actually struggling. Like today, I was looking at games I already own, games that are out there, and I was just struggling to find anything that I really wanted to play, even though I wanted to play something.
Yep.
So I don't know. Help me out. What should I do, guys? Help me out here.
Well, you know what my suggestion would be.
Do I?
I mean, I yell so many different games at you, so I guess you can pick one.
That one's the one you've probably been yelling longest. So.
I know you would love Mass Effect. I know it.
Chunk Blade, any suggestions?
I still think you need to finish Undertale.
Right. How about What Remains of Edith Finch? Huh?
That is supposed to be very good. I have that is on my list.
I don't know that one.
Once it's on a little deeper sale, but I've heard good things.
What is it?
It's just something that very much a story-driven game with one of the. I kind of wish I hadn't heard about it, but with one of the cooler gameplay sequences that I've heard about in quite a while, in terms of how it morphs from one thing into another, kind of gradually. It's I mean, it sounds like it's kind of a bummer in terms of content-wise. But it does sound good.
I mean, real life is already such a bummer that I like to, anymore with my entertainment options, explore the non-bummer ones.
I tend to stick to that as well.
Shovel Knight, if you enjoy like an old school platformer.
That's a fantastic game. Yeah.
Yeah,
and it is not a bummer at all.
No, it is smiling from ear to ear, that game. And tons of good DLC on that one.
Perfect.
And I have it in my library, which we're sharing, so you can download it and play it pretty much anytime I'm not playing games.
Sweet.
There we go.
All right.
Listen, Valve. Breaking the system.
No, that's intentional on their part. It's family sharing.
I'm not convinced anything's intentional on their part.
Don't tell anyone.
Fair enough.
All right.
And on that note, episode 20 is over.
Complete. Well done, everybody.
Join us in a little over 3 years for episode 40. At which point, we'll tell you some actual games I wish existed, because I don't think I talked about any of them.
Say, joke's on you guys, we lied.
Farewell, everyone.
Farewell.
Live long and prosper.